sweet and free, and all its joy will soon be mine. There is a shining light so bright, there is no dying over there. Oh, Beulah land, sweet Beulah land, upon thy heights I long to stand and view the radiant Jasper sea and mansions fair.
Hayekyo baba funda mahala South Africa siyabhadala Hayekyo baba funda mahala South Africa siyabhadala Come njona mwana Nomzakuni sipho sokushaya mabona Come njona mwana Nomzakuni sipho sokushaya mabona Awokyo baba funda mahala South Africa siyabhadala Hayekyo baba funda mahala South Africa siyabhadala Come Jona, Jona, Nizabuni Sipo, Sokushaya Mabona, Wamote, Amaporizana, Wamovana, Jibelizana, Wamovana, Amaporizana, Wazevana, Jibelizana, Harine, Gona, Jibuni Daita, Sefona Wofona.
Comrades, can we ensure that and then make sure that ensure that the chair that we are sitting on does not have a red sticker. All the presenters in the US the podium, please come and sit on the all the representatives of structures, take a seat on the stage. All the presenters, please assemble on the podium. K Masike and wakhona sakhe imitholampilo sakhe izibhedlela thina sitshintshe impilo zabantu sakhe izindlu bona ugesi namanzi kukhona sebenza president sebenza msholozi esiyakuba iqhubela phambili sebenza namalala sebenza msholozi esiyakuba iqhubela
izingane ziyadla esikolweni zithola imfundo yamahhala sebenza khongolose i-social grant ikhonabo imisebenzi ikhona sebenza khongolose siyasebenza uyambona uyambona
sisebenza kanzima
mama makheba mama ube kumkhalikazi benda fasi ingathathi kuma yonke xa ngindibisa nonke ndithi amaku kunike galelo asiphelelanga shotu spisa asiphelelanga 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 imasidela asiphelelanga bambusane madoda baphakame bavavwe basisane kaloku sibakhawule nibe mbesingubo nibagcwaye umthika nibanike ithoba bambelelane ingoma ningabadlali indlala ibingamanqila ngoma amathanda unguthu lwengoma okwanungale khwaba imvume bezintshiloza zindyondya kutsho kuthile kutshotshe kungqungqa kungqumsela intabeqha neyaphukasana awu kufakwa njani nako namadoda sambi indoda linenjodelikazi singayolelanga yawe namlela sathu isithonga wamangala umntu wayingamalala You must see it,
South Africa siyabhadala.
Good day, student leaders. Today, as we all know, we are here for the political debate of student structures in preparations to the upcoming online SRC elections. And I believe that each and every structure here will be here to come and sell themselves to the masses, to the student populace of Tshwane University of Technology, Pretoria Campus, on why should they vote for them. So a question that they are going to ask you is that, why you? And you need to tell the student masses why your structure. Amanda student leaders, Amanda. Amanda student leadership, Amanda. We are now going to do this in an alphabetical order. Each structure you are given 10 minutes to sell yourself or to present. All structures are going to present. As soon as they are done, we'll then do a Q&A session where we'll be taking questions. And I believe that when you ask questions as the supporters, it will be imperative for you to ask a question to the member of your structure, right? So you need to then ask the question to a structure that you don't belong to, that you feel that there's a prompt question that you need to put across. Remember, it's 10 minutes each. We don't hit anywhere below the belt. We are not going to swear. Remember, at the end of the day, this is an institution of higher learning, and we are young adults and smart in how we are going to present ourselves to our student populace. I'll first want to start with ANC Youth League to come through. Presenter of ANC Youth League.
Manja, awethu, matla, aruna, matla. Thank you very much, comrades. My name is Nkululeko Pavuma, branch elections team convener of the ANC Youth League. Today I'm here to tell you about the achievements and the revolutionary work of the ANC Youth League. As the ANC Youth League, we have done the most and ensured that students get the best and conducive accommodation. This was done during my SRC term as a treasurer deployed by the ANC Youth League. We managed to convince we managed to convince the management and actually fight them to renovate all residences. I'm sure, as you can see this year, today, internal residences of the university are now being renovated so that they are conducive for students in order for them to study properly and be able to progress with their studies. There is Wi-Fi now in all residences to ensure that students are connected and are able to study online. That is also the work of the ANC Youth League. It is the ANC Youth League who ensured that the management of TUT also provides learning devices for all students for the online learning, online and multimodal learning. It is also the ANC Youth League that ensured that monthly data is given to students every month. We're actually now fighting for that. It must be converted. This 20 gig of night must be put in daytime, and the 10 gig must be made overnight. We're also fighting for that. The Department of Higher Education and Training must scrap all historical debts. They must liaise with the public sector and the private sector. The JSC, Chamber of Mines, they must also contribute towards scrapping the debts of students and ensuring that all students receive their qualifications. As the ANC Youth League, we've also ensured that the campus is safe and is secured. We're also against the gender-based violence. We're against the abusing of our women on campus, and we're ensuring that each and every male treats the woman and gives the respect that they deserve. As the ANC Youth League, we're now in a revolution of radical curriculum content transformation. That is our struggle now. That is why we want the students, the general student populace, to vote for us in order to advance the program of radical curriculum content transformation. Curriculum content transformation entails that the framework of the studies that we're doing must ensure that we're getting skills so that we do not have to look for employment and actually create employment. Because right now, the studies that we're studying are breeding unemployment, like contact center management. You cannot study 3 years to answer a call or to manage a contact center place. They must shorten the time frame of that study, make it even 3 weeks, and ensure that it's not a joke, comrades. It's not a joke. It's serious, comrades. As we are seeing now, we're faced with a dilemma of many unemployed graduates. It's because of this education system that is not beneficiary to the black child and black poverty, majority stricken of young people in South Africa. So we're therefore saying that the Department of Higher Education must structure our educational system in such a way that creates skills and gives skills to learners. The Department of Basic Education has started by introducing technical schools, whereby after grade 9, students are taught skills instead of busy advancing academics. Because we must admit, comrades, we're not all academics. It's not all of us who have a capacity to pass academically. Others are skilled in music, others are skilled with their hands. So we're therefore saying the education system must enhance those skills of people and ensure that they flourish. Comrades, the program of radical curriculum content transformation is of paramount importance, and we're therefore going to need all assistance throughout of all structures, because at the end of the day, it's not about elections, it's about changing the lives of black people. My comrades, I'm going to be very short. Tina, our work is shown on campus. We are not good at speaking many things. We act. We provide action. With that, I would like to leave you with the quote of Oliver Tambo. It says, "The future is bright, the end is glorious, it is peaceful, but the intervening period is dark, bitter, and finds its glory in the act of struggle." Amandla.
Viva ANC Youth League, viva! Viva ANC Youth League, viva! Amandla! Amandla! That's all. Come through.
Amandla. Amandla. Mata. Thank you very much. I go by the name of Prince Masomboga, and I'm a good member of DASO. Ours is short and simple, comrades. We are very sick and tired of the promises that are being made throughout the year of elections. Whenever we have elections, there's been heaven and earth that is being promised to us and our fellow students. Now, as DASO, we are coming with new strategies, reconstruct and reconcile to an University of Technology, because we are sick and tired in matters of gender-based violence. Our sisters are being used as prejudice in order to win elections, which is we must do away with those things. We are tired of electing hyenas, of taking care of the goats, and whenever the goats are being eaten, we get surprised. Now, let me put you into clarity in what we are going to do in terms of academics. What we are going to do as DASO, since we are being the opposition party and a very consistent structure, even if we are getting insults aside, he's saying it's white monopoly. But I'm telling you, in academic excellence, we are getting there. Number one, we are saying that we need to look restructure issues of timetable. Issues of timetable when it comes to management, when they are doing their timetables, they inconvenient students. Now they must consult with SFC first before it can be put into final publications. Number two, we need to increase security of main campus, because what we know is that Westgate is operating and people are getting inside ways. That's why our sisters and our brothers are being raped, are being tortured, and some of the belongings to the students, they come from that side of Westgate. Westgate must be placed in a structured manner, whether we're going to use biometrics or increase security. We are also a structure that accommodates all people of kind of disabilities. Students with disabilities, even today, we don't even have buses that accommodate disabled students. And those students, they are not being accommodated. Each and every year, there's a campaign that's being run that we are advocating for students that are from disability areas and stuff. But even Bukamos to the bus doesn't have a seat that says this one belongs to a disability student. Now, what are we doing as comrades? One of the things that we need to reconstruct and retransform is the clinic of main campus. That clinic is operational, but we don't know how is it operational. Whilst students, they are falling under victims of, we don't even know who's the doctor there. We don't know who's the doctor, number one. Those nurses, they work operational just because they want to get paid. Now, we are saying that TUT must hire external nurses that they can assist our sisters that are getting sick at very night and during the day. Because when you go there, at 2 o'clock, you find that those people, they said they went to lunch. Now, we need to restructure this thing, because what I've noticed is that we are sick and tired of political structures that will come to us and our fellow students, promising them heaven and earth, and then only to find out, people that are sitting here, that you call them leaderships, they're only advancing their own pockets. Now, as DASO, we are willing to be given a chance as a political structure that says we advocate for students' excellency, and for those ones who are willing to be in university at the moment of time, not to stay and build a shack here. Some of you have been here for more than years, but none of them, you see them graduating from that. Now, I want to tell you one of our last point is that as comrades, we are willing to restructure, reconstruct, and retransform TUT to an University of Technology as part as full to say, Tina, we are for excellency and we want comrades to graduate and then go to Tshwane and look for jobs, because if you can go there, now you can get opportunities. I think some of them, they even looted from the Tshwane house because of the DA is here to stay, the DASO is here to stay. Thank you very much.
Viva DASO, 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 viva! Viva Daso, 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 viva! Amandla! Amandla! Thank you, leadership. We are now going to call a representative from EFFSC.
Greetings, everyone. I'm greeting the students of TUT at large and the ground forces of the FF Student Command in the University of the People's University. I go by the name of Spelele Mthembu. I'm the secretary of the FF Student Command TUT Rand. The FF Student Command TUT Rand, it is a vanguard and militant organization as a student wing. Its own constitution and manifesto is co-founded in a manifesto of economic freedom fighters led by the capable CIC Julius Malema, the commander-in-chief, the incoming president. The EFF Student Command, it is an anti-corrupt and anti-capitalist. It is an anti-sex, anti-capitalist, anti-racial, and anti-tribalist. In that way, the EFF Student Command is going to not allow the management of TUT to continue to capitalize in the expense of our students. In this way, during 2018, the FF Student Command has fought to accommodate students in a number of 80% in the university. We made sure that students are being accommodated. By management, they took us an advantage by taking those residences and outsourced them. When they outsourced them because they wanted to give the business to their friends and families, to their cartel of their own. In that way, those residences, we don't fund them as an environment of an academic space. Because of the lack of Wi-Fi and cafeterias, and in those residences, they are committing gender-based violence. In those residences, we have experienced 2 cases of gender-based violence 2 weeks in some of the cadres of some certain organizations. In those organizations, they participated in a gender-based violence. Even today, those students, they are not taken to jail because they are protected by the certain powerful people in management of the university. When they were taking and outsourcing the residences in this university, they made the pubs in the university residences. We are so surprised because when we arrived in this university, there was a book called Triple R. That book was working on us as first years. We were becoming leadership because using that book, because that book was having rules and the residence regulations, because it was guiding us in everything. Today, we are surprised some of the residences they are selling alcohol for first years in this university. This university outsourced these residencies so that when NSFAS is giving when it's giving students problems, they will make sure that they call their friends who are owners and rest managers who are unprofessional so that they can chase those students away from residencies. We are saying as students who are fighting for free, fair and decolonized education, we are saying free education must be implemented in our university because we are here from the poor families. We are here from rural areas. We are here to get information and knowledge so that we can succeed and go back to rural areas and make sure that our parents and everyone at home, they are succeeding in the poverty of life. In the poverty of life. In the exploitation of students in the residences, I am done. I'm going straight to the issues of NSFAS. There is an issue called N+2 in this university. It is a national issue that's supposed to be attended by the Minister Plain Demand. Plain Demand is entering in and out in this university, but the problems of NSFAS, they are still pending. We don't know what they are talking, what they are doing in the Vice Chancellor of this university. We are saying N+2 issue, EFF is going to champion it because sooner we are going to be taking all students to the streets so that we can go to DHET and make sure that the issue of N+2, because we must make sure that education is decolonized and is free and fair and decolonized. We must make sure that Plain Demand or the Deputy Minister make sure that they give us answers regards the graduates that they didn't receive their certificates, regards on the issues of the students who didn't receive their allowance. Now is September. There are students who didn't receive their allowances in this university. We called, as the EFF Student Command, we called the Speaker of National NSFAS to ask about the issue of students who are not paid their funds in the university. They said to us, they brought the money to the university, but to our surprise, there is a 40% of graduates who never received their qualifications. We are saying, as an organization who are fighting for free education, this must come to an end. We are going to fight to the core. I'm going to like to remove the cap of Che Guevara to give a salute to students who came and support the students when we were rallying and fighting behind the capitalist management few months ago. The University of Technology is functioning like South Africa. During the pandemic of COVID-19, there was a situation where we lost some of the students in some of the residences called 4 towers in this university. In those residences, they wrote a letter at the same time. The students, they must go back home. That time, they were preparing on how they are going to loot in this university. After that, in this university, they brought the domes, the biggest tent that belong to their friends and capitalist companies who brought those tents in the expense of students. In those tents, now we are going to online elections. We are writing in those tents contact so. When we are writing in those tents, even COVID-19 protocols, they are not being followed. But now we are going to go to online elections. We should vote online. You know why? Let me tell you. It is because of some man that was suspended in this university during the death of Katlego Monareng, the activist of PASMA. Today management is bringing some of the certain structures in this so that they can contest, so that they can manipulate the system of student activism in this university. We are not going to shy away from that. There are many organizations now that seem to be contesting in these online elections. We are asking ourselves why they didn't contest before. It is clear that is the mandate of the management that they want to manipulate the system of online elections and rob us. We are saying to all structures they must fight against this thing so that we must make sure that the student activism is lava again. There's no students, there are no students' rights when we don't have student activism. Management is trying to kill student activism. I'm continuing going to the security and safety in this university. Going forward, we are looking on the gender balance in this security of this company. There's a company called MI7. The company seems to be having lots of banters who are males. We see when we are fighting in the strike, advocating for our students, we see lots of banters who are males manhandling our women. We are saying that must come to an end. We ended up fighting physically as an EFF student command with the bouncers who are manhandling women because the management, they make sure that they're suppressing the student activism. That must come to an end. In this university, before the COVID-19 starts, 2020, we were not having lights in the campus. In this campus, we were supposed to be having lights. When we were applying in this campus, in the pictures, we saw green lights and blue lights, and fountain was rising all the time. But now the campus always looked dilapidated like a ghost town, always dirty, is not cleaned. As the organization that is fighting for workers and economic emancipation in our lifetime, we are saying the university must hire more women in the offices of MI7 and outside during the strikes. We are also saying all student activism, they must gather in this thing and be within the eye of an eagle to look up on these matters. No matter which organization you are, but on this, you know that the issue at the end of the day, we are advocating for students at the end of the day. We must fight for this. At the end, I would like to say to students who are viewing and watching right now, they must cast their vote to the EFF Student Command on the 14th to the 16th of September, so that we are going to fight the Skorokoro management. We are going to push it away, so that we are going to make sure all the time that the university is governable and make sure that the free, fair, and decolonized education is given to our people. Thank you.
Viva EFFSC, viva! Viva EFFSC, viva! Amandla! Amandla! I'll now call a representative from PASMA.
Azania, in observing all the protocols, be greeted in the highest form of Pan-Africanism, Izwelethu i-Afrika. The question now is very much clear that the students want the student leaders to answer is, why should we vote for your organization? I would like to quote before moving forward and then try to align it with my manifesto. Prof. Robert Mangaliso Sobugo once said, education to us means service to Africa. Now by that he meant that the education system should be Afrocentric, not Eurocentric. We need to align our studies with what is going to assist the country in moving forward in terms of economy, in terms of its political space, and otherwise. Now we are saying that as the Pan-Africanist student movement of Azania, we want to provide students with a free socialist and decolonized education. TUT must introduce farming very quick. We are not going to buy into the idea that there's a campus somewhere in Limpopo that is going to be introduced. That campus must be introduced as immediate to take effect, because we are saying we need to invest in courses that are going to assist with regard to mining, with regard to agriculture. And with regard to the clinic of the university, this is the University of Technology. We just took another direction into a traditional university. But we are saying the clinic of the university need to have proper facilities. The residents of the university, the list and the accredited residences needs to have proper facilities. We cannot have a situation that the Wi-Fi is going to go up and down. We can't have a situation that the security in list residences, in accredited residences, and in the residence of the university, it is not working hand in glove with the students, because they are here to guard us, they are here to guard the property of the university. But with regard to the construction that is happening again, those people, after the construction is done, they are taking the very same material of the university. Where are we as student leaders? Because we need to be asking them to say, where are you taking this thing? Someone must account. The university prides itself by saying it does not have money, but the things that they should be using to recycle so that we can have money in the coffers of the university to assist with things that might be of need to the students is not happening. Yes, with regard to gender-based violence, we are saying women are equal to men. Disabled people are equal to us. They are just able in their own space, in their own way. But they must be treated fairly, honestly, and with pride, because they are human beings. We are saying as PASMA, we are coming for each and every one, from student leaders, from unruly students, to the management that think this university belongs to them. We are coming for them. There's another issue again that is close to my heart. We cannot be priding ourselves standing here delivering manifesto as though we are fools. We are not fools. Our SRC has been suspended. Some of us, as PASMA, we went and had a meeting with the management of the university. They told us that they have suspended them, and then they are going to uplift the suspension at the time convenient to them. It is very wrong, because students are experiencing issues daily, on an hourly basis, on a second basis. We are saying as PASMA, we are not going to leave any stone unturned, as we have never left any stone unturned. We are saying we should be prepared from here to be employable by companies outside. But the management is going to do things that are going to ensure that we are unruly and we are going to be suspended. It is wrong. The issue of NEFSAS, N+4, I think we understand that there's an academic who was intoxicated somewhere, speaking about N4, that he does not know how does N4 works. We are challenging the issue. We had a meeting even yesterday. N+2, N+4, my comrades, bona fide mistake. Izwelethu. Yes. Student leaders, let us not forget that as much as we are going to be fighting for students to vote for us, we are not going to represent our structures at the end of the day. We are representing the students. We are for the students. We are not for us. This thing of enriching ourselves, attending meetings, speaking unnecessary English, the English that you paid for, it's out of order. Because you can equally speak English. But the things that needs to happen is that from time to time, you need to be in touch with your ground. It cannot be that the students are going to vote for other parties, but when they're having issues, are championed by other parties. Because when we are in our own space, we ridicule ourselves instead of growing ourselves. As student leaders, we are growing ourselves from here to the community and going out. Remember, student wars are labor wars, and labor wars are land wars. Izwelethu.
Viva Pasma, 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 viva! Viva Pasma, 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 viva! Amandla! Amandla! Just to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that the elections will be running from the 14th to the 16th of September. Make sure that you are there. Encourage your students to vote. And also, where you are seated, ensure that you are not sitting on the chair that has a red tag. Ne? We still need to maintain social distancing. We still need to sanitize. And we still need to observe all the COVID-19 protocols. I'm now going to call upon a representative from SASCO.
Amandla, awethu, matla, aruna, matemba, aina, manda, hoye frelemo, hoye frelemo, hoye, Victoria. Thank you very much for the opportunity granted. My name is Lisiba Marakalala, a representative of the South African Student Congress. We have had a lot of gimmicks. Comrades have spoken. We are going to provide apex clarity to the student fraternity. So ours is simple. I'm just going to quote a man from Guinea-Bissau called Amilcar Cabral. Amilcar Cabral says that tell no lies, hide nothing, mask no difficulties, tell the truth, expose the truth whenever you see it. So comrades, there was once a point in a community, there was a meeting, there were leaders, August leaders, and those leaders, when they arrived at the community meeting, they requested to get the issues of that particular community. So in them getting issues, there is one man who just asked a question, a random question that we're having a plea that can we please have a doctor for the clinic. The man picked up his phone to call the doctor. After the man picks up the phone to call the doctor, he assures the community that everything is fine. I've got you a doctor. They go to the second question. But what is it that you want as a community? But no, we don't have network coverage. So the men have assured the community that you have called the doctor. The second question is that we don't have network coverage in this very same community. So that is what the message that I wanted to put. It is just in passing. The South African Student Congress celebrates its 30 years. It is a revolutionary Marxist-Leninist organization that in its 30 years of existence have been mitigating challenges of impoverished and challenges of the downtrodden students to management in institutions of higher learning. As the South African Student Congress, we have been there. We have ensured that there is access in the institutions of higher learning in and across years. We have got a program that we run yearly called the Right to Learn campaign, where we ensure that majority of our students get access to this free education that we have been at the center stage of fighting for as the South African Student Congress, as a revolutionary Marxist organization of the left. So we come to the institution. We will start by issues of NSFAS. We have got a problem that you'll have students who are excluded from NSFAS, then their appeals are then approved when the year is about to end. It is a serious crisis because you are perpetuating the very same problem that the students have been having of not being able to have access to resources. Now you accept the appeal after such period of time. That particular student will not be having accommodation and so on and so forth. We then therefore will want to speak about the demilitarization of campus. It's shocking what is happening in TUT. You can't have a campus that has got security guards whose number is tantamount to the ones of students. We're telling you now that if really there is nothing to hide in the university, why do we have such a number of security guards? And then we're saying that where we are a production, we are a fountain where we are producing wisdom, and the people that we are having in these institutions are the ones that are to lead society tomorrow. Then you militarize campus. Your people will work, will provide leadership on that one. And the other thing that we also want to convey, unequivocally so, we want to speak directly to the SGLD. We are going to speak to the SGLD. The comrade from the EFFSC who have spoken, the latter speaker, he have mentioned something that we must then therefore be able to speak about without any fear of contradiction. No, we are going to quote you because the aim is to champion student issues collectively. Of course, SASCO being the leader of the issues of the students with its overwhelming majority throughout the years. So the latter speaker of the EFF Student Command mentioned something that we'll also want to touch on, that if we are to speak and were to become realistic, political structures in their nature, they are chapters of the university. That's why you'll have SASCO, TUT Rand. You have got DASO, TUT Rand. There is a problem of synonymity that is going to create a serious confusion in moving forward. So, but that is a legal question on its own. So we just wanted to touch it, and we also convey the message that the SRCs in previous years, they have been crippled. The SRCs have been crippled because of student governance that wants to interfere with the affairs of political structures. We want to castigate vehemently so the student governance, leadership, and development for infiltrating itself in the affairs of student leadership. They are the custodian. student leadership on its own is recognized by the statute. It is recognized by the Department of Higher Learning. So as a result, even today where we are seated, you don't have the SRC in campus. But why here all of us are quiet as political structures who are supposed to be depositing SRC. Our campus now is without SRC, but we're speaking of championing student issues, gimmicking, making all these sort of promises that are not there, but we don't have SRC as things stands in our campus. We must make it clear, comrades, that as a result of that, the SRCs and the political structures in moving forward, they've got a very, very mammoth task of ensuring that they work collectively to address issues of the students. We are saying now, comrades, that as the South African Student Congress, I'm going back, the South African Student Congress is intending to open a fund, an SRC fund that will seek to then address challenges of poor students. An SRC fund that we are planning to establish, we hope it to be in this way if student governance working together with the incumbent SRC that will be voting for will reach that determination. We want it to, at least from the budget of the SRC, there must be a fund that seeks to, it must be in a form of bursary. Because year in, year out, you have got students who are not funded. The budget of the SRC goes back after every financial year. It can't be correct that as student leaders, knowing the challenges of our people, the budget of the SRC is taken back and we can do something about it. So, comrades, the South African Student Congress, in and across years, have ensured that there is accommodation. In 2017, we had marched based on a study that we have made that we collected from the University of Johannesburg. We collected the question of accreditation from the University of Johannesburg. We benchmarked. There was no one who came with there is no one who came with accreditation outside of the South African Student Congress. And it got hijacked by criminals, of course, in the process. But we are the ones who had benchmarked. Today our students are in residences. They have got access to Wi-Fi. Of course, that we are going to deal with it. Remember that the question of gender-based violence, Mchana, everything in society emanates from something. These are dialectics, so I want to teach you that. Thank you very much, comrades, for the opportunity given, although the time is limited. Thank you.
Viva Sasco, 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 viva! Viva Sasco, 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 viva! Amandla! Amandla! Student leaders, I'll now call upon a representative from what's this? Action SA. Action SA. Action SA, come through.
Lochan Bahlali. I'd like to greet you in the name of the Almighty Lord Jesus Christ. Umandela ubeke inyendo esichabeni uthi umuntu nakeza kuwe akhuluma something today kusasa boya ijikele eze ngenye ihlangano uthi umuntu loyo utshintshe ama principles wakhe. So now I'm here to you to offer you one thing and one moving organization, as you can see in the country, and a structure called Action SA. So it's new to the campus, and therefore we cannot account to any mess that happened in the past, Bahlali. So what we can offer you students is that we are offering you ethical leadership. What do I mean when I mean ethical leadership? We don't find ourselves, TUT is being brought into disrepute by its current leaders. I mean, we find leaders that are leading students only to find that they are participating in gender-based violence. last week, 2 weeks ago, we were in our own structures, you also were dealing with such issues. So it just questions, what are we producing as a university? Are we producing monsters to society and in the name of leadership? That's the first question that we should ask ourselves. So we as Section SA students, we are providing ethical leadership, and therefore we must lead from the front, so that we don't find student leaders that are deployed to SRC only to find out that their main mandate is only pursuing their own things. So besides that, we are people of the rule of law. The university has been suspending SRC as if it's like a tuck shop. So that thing, leader Kukukaba, Dr. Kukukaba, ngokomthetho siyeza as Action SA, we are going to send the university to court. Unfortunately, we are not protected. Ubarakalala ibeka kuhle. We deploy people to SRC. Nasuka la, the university decided to disband them. I mean, we're the one that elected them. Therefore, it is pointless for us to elect people that can be thrown down the drain by the university. It's irregardless what the merits are, but I believe that the university is not producing a conducive environment so that our student leaders can express themselves into their students. When the issues are raised, I mean, like, it's genuine issues. NSFAS last week took Vula for their last round. So if students decide that, or student leaders decide to say, we need to challenge the university regarding NSFAS, and the university is too quick to be reactionary and suspend people, I mean, it means that let us forget what we're doing here. Whatever we're doing here, it is fruitless at the end of the day. It's not going to be fruitless because now we are going to send people to power, and then that power is going to be emasculated. So therefore, ours as Action SA, we believe in the rule of law, meaning that whatever that we are going to do, fellow colleagues and peers, is that let us go legally, challenge the university legally, so that we can see that abom calling on those ziyasebenza or sesiluphele. Phela kunokwenzeka umuntu umbone ukuthi ingqondo isabereka mara sokuthi akasayiqondi nencwadi akasayizwisisi. Because if the university has veto power to just disband SRC, it means that there's no point of us to be here. So I encourage learners to vote Action SA #1 on the ballot for as the incoming government during these local government elections. Ngiyabonga mandla.
Viva Action SA, viva! Viva Action SA, viva! Amandla! Amandla! Just a reminder again, ladies and gentlemen, on the 14th to the 16th of September, we'll be having our first online SRC elections. Encourage your student populace to make sure that they cast their votes to the political party of their choice. I'll now call upon a structure by the name of SEO.
One, two. Amandla. Amandla. Awethu. Matla. Arona. Where's Gazankulu? Matimba. Ehina. Thank you, comrades. My name is Sembiso Prince Mabuza, a representative of the Student Christian Organization, the only organization which has the students' interest at heart. Even though others may claim that they have the students' interest at heart, we know them. There's no need for us to point fingers. But we'll deal with them. I'll address them now, in fact. For years and years, students have been showered and fed meaningless campaign slogans and promises that are sweet to the ear, but they suggest a land of milk and cookies around the corner, which was an aim to get votes or win votes from students. Propaganda of the highest note. For years and years, students have been promised that their outstanding debts will be scrapped out with no way of implementing such. It's just a promise being flaunted around with no strategy of implementing such. Years and years, they keep on saying there will be no financial exclusions, but we still see year in and year out, we still see students who are lining up outside from Building 21 all the way to bus terminal to go and negotiate for their fees. Which fees are you scrapping out if such is happening in the institution? Why is it that, and when this is happening, where is this so-called tried and tested leaders from their imaginary militant organizations singing slogans outside Namakwicho, thinking that they will excel? Where are they? They are nowhere to be found in such cases. They want to come and tell students and brief students about issues that are discussed behind closed doors, issues that they cannot produce anything that has materialized from such. Which issues have you been championing if you're claiming that you've been championing issues? I want to touch on something that is not here, that the latter speaker touched on. Not the latter, but previously. Former President Marakalal. I want, in fact, an answer for this. You keep on saying that, we keep on hearing worry. You said to us, in fact, that the SRC in the institution has been compromised and infiltrated. You touched on student governance, if I'm not mistaken, saying that they've been compromised and infiltrated. My question is this: given the fact that for a majority of years now, I don't know how many years prior, SASCO has been the one with an absolute majority, which SRC has been infiltrated. The same SASCO SRC that has been infiltrated, the same SASCO SRC that you are praising, saying that it will bring change, the same change they've been failing to bring for the past I don't know how many years, having absolute majority. For what? You will answer, it's fine. To you, that was a way of campaigning for your structure. But to me and other students in this institution, it is basically SASCO. In fact, it is basically SASCO admitting. It is in fact SASCO admitting that they have failed the students dismally, and still claim that they will bring change. Anis Cheleni, how do you stab yourself and heal yourself immediately right here? Where? Which change are you bringing? You will answer that. You will answer that. Simply, we are just SSO. We are saying that we are tired. We are tired of this. We are tired of this Imiswili brigade that has been leading this institution, bringing disrepute in the name of the institution. Students, graduates of this university are unable to find employment because they keep on saying that the products of this institution are products that are not learned, are products that have no respect, are products that cannot even engage. Instead, they thrive in insults. This is the reflection of the leaders we've had in this institution for a while. After that, you come here, comrades, and not to say that we are against any ideologies of Karl Marx and the likes, but we want to come here and ask you. You keep on quoting Karl Marx day in and day out. Where you want to also come and quote leaders of the 20th century, while now in the 21st century, leaders have been produced here. Which leaders have you been? Were you busy producing? Let me tell you something. Mina, I will just bring to light leaders, sober-minded leaders, the likes of the former Secretary General of the institutional SRC, Mr. Mpos Kosana, of which you were claiming that SASCO came with issues of accreditation. It was the SRC. It was the SRC with the Secretary General Mpos Kosana and the likes. Who and the likes of your Moses Kumalo, who came with the accreditation policy. Policy matters are of the Deputy President General, not the President General. We'll teach you these things. We will teach you these things. I bring forth to you leaders of today, leaders we produced today, the likes of former President General. When we were given an opportunity to lead this institution, with the likes of President General Dineo Tlhagala. In fact, SG Mpos Kosana and Dineo Tlhagala, the only two leaders who were sober-minded enough and courageous enough to hold the institution accountable in front of the Higher Education's Parliamentary Portfolio Committee. Where were the rest of them? Nowhere to be found. Where were these presidents that you are praising now? They were nowhere to be found. They were the only ones. They're in the forefront of this whole thing. They disappeared. They were busy there in Talanang and doing whatever they are doing. It's fine. They were busy there in busy corner, doing whatever they were doing, being praised as the so-called golf cartel. these are the kind of leaders that we need, that are needed in society, the kind of leaders that are needed in student politics. Now, by the way, these two leaders I quoted were products of the church. And now who says the church can't lead? Who? No one. Runa, what we want to bring forth to students is simple and straightforward. We are not going to, instead of lying and telling students and promising them, we are going to implement this and that, while knowing very well there's nothing you can do. We are saying that our aim and approach to the issue of student debt is to go out. First of all, there are service providers in this institution that the institution is giving business to. I think a fair way that they can give, those service providers can give back to the students of this institution is by also subsidizing these fees, if not identifying students where they can pay up their fees so they can get their qualifications and go and seek work elsewhere and emancipate the poverty-stricken communities they come from. Runa, as we are heading to the local government elections, comrades, it would be very thoughtful for students to give SASCO, ANC Youth League, EFF, and the likes, who have their mother structures contesting such, give them a chance to go and campaign in the communities and ensure that our communities are emancipated from all the problems they're having. And the only way to do that is for students to vote for SCO. We can't have these organizations, this side and this side. Deal with issues of community, comrades. I see you have a passion in such. We have our own students who are contesting as council members. We are not saying it's wrong, but it's fine. Go and support them, deal with community issues, and allow the student organization, the student Christian organization, to deal with student matters as it's been doing. We are tired of these so-called tried and tested leaders who take advantage of another child's bruises and pains, like the disgusting display that we saw in TVL, when women of this institution came together, put aside their political affiliations, and came together and united against the perpetrator of what happened in TVL. But as usual and as normal, we had expected it. A particular political structure, which I will not name, I've named it enough, I've made it shine enough, saw a campaigning strategy and saw it beneficial to them to campaign for SRC elections. When such things were happening prior, where were you? Now that it's elections, you want to come with your gazebos and banners to say you are going to fight for those issues. Why is it that you are the only ones who come under the umbrella of a political structure to come and fight an issue that was faced by a general student? Tasked by who? Sis, man. Yes, sis. Yes, sis. In closing, I would like to quote, it would be wrong for me as a representative of the Christian organization not to quote from the book of life itself. I would like to quote from Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, which says, when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. But when the wicked are in authority, the people will suffer, just like the students have been suffering. Amanda! Danko.
Viva SCO, 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 viva! Viva SCO, 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 viva! Amanda! Amanda! It's getting hot. Remember, we're still going to have a Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we're still having Q&A session to come. Let me now call the last structure to present. Is Sadesmo here? They are not here. I haven't seen their represent. But we move. TUTSA, please come forth. Thank you, comrades. Thank you, comrades. Thank you, comrades.
Hai propaganda kaustelo fundo wenzeni.
Thank you.
There's a time for Q&A.
Questions are coming.
There's a time. Leadership of Big English. Leadership of Big English. Leadership of Big English. Mama wami, mama ndoyeka. Mama wami, mama ndoyeka. Awololo, awololo, awelele. Batsun chen kengaya tiyuti. Leadership, don't be scared. I'm going to present in your presence. Unlike you, I don't write petitions. I'm going to present in your presence. If you do not want to be here, Leadership Marakalala, you can leave. Amanda comrades. Amanda comrades. Amanda comrades. Viva